Okay, so welcome back to my legal counsel. Now we are going to simulate our project for you. Okay, so once the first interface that we are going to be able to see in my project is going to be this interface, where we are asked about which interface do we want to choose, whether we are entering as a victim and a user or a member of the administration team. Let's suppose we enter as a user. We are asked with user information, first name, last name, city, age, and budget. All these variables, all these instances are basically okay. So the thing about here is that the first name and the last name uh, is not going to be saved in our database, and rest of the information, being city, age, and budget, is going to be saved in our user database. Why do we do so? The app that we have created deals with sensitive information about when people actually get a prosecution for cases such as sexual assault cases, harassment cases, and rape cases. And most of the people are not going to be comfortable with their names being directly saved in our databases. For that matter, but still, we still need information such as city, age, and budget, so that in the future, when we are going to incorporate machine learning techniques to make our system more efficient, we have a lot of data. Also, we do not need authentication for users, and the reason for being that is same reason, because since we need a lot of data, and authentication often disincentivizes maximum data, so that is why we are not doing that. So, if we are not saving the first name and the last name, how do we store this in our user database? Basically, there's a cookie session that for each of our entry, and that cookie session basically saves it at user one, user two, user three, so that there can be distinguishment, and yet our database does not have their first name and their last name, their personal information, right? Okay. Once entering our database, we are redirected to this page. The front end basically it requests from the backend to fetch the crime database, and once the crime, all the crimes that are entered in the criminal database, when they are fetched, they are upon the response of the backend, they are then displayed on our page. So let's suppose we are talking if we want a prosecution for rape case, and once we submit that, we will then be redirected to another upon the this request basically redirects us to another to response from the backend, which then displays us with the rape case prosecution. Same goes for all the other cases. Okay, if that were not the case and we were using the admin interface, things would have been different. Here we require admin authentication, that being the username and password. Upon that, when it's authenticated, we are then redirected to this page where there are three different databases that an admin can basically what do we say? An admin can update, right? So let's suppose we are here to update the legal team databases. We are redirected to the legal team databases. Here, if we want to update, let's suppose we want to update some of the attributes of the legal team. What happens around here is that we can add the lawyer ID, the name, the city, the average expense. Okay, now, uh, in our database, in our lawyer database, the primary key is basically the lawyer ID. That is why once we enter the lawyer ID, it actually checks with the database, and then it asks us which attribute do we want to update. Let's suppose I want to update this average expense in that database table. Let's suppose now it's 60,000. Once we submit that, it is updated in the database. Thank you so much for watching my simulation, and I really hope and I really pray that my app and my effort contributes towards some sort of equal protection and civil rights for people who are already marginalized, and it can make an impact in, if not a lot, then some of the lives of people that are already disincentivized. Thank you so much.